So me and my group have been tasked by a key executive to make a how-to video for his new upcoming drama series. And we're just gonna go through fingerprinting and various things about it. And it's gonna be showing you how to roll prints, dust prints, how to identify various things. And we wanna make sure that we've been tasked to make sure the show is as realistic as possible. And we're gonna, by the end of this video, we hope that you've also learned a lot.
Latent prints are usually found on porous surfaces, which are surfaces that absorb water and water-soluble deposits into the sweat very quickly after deposition. Latent prints, or invisible prints, are prints that are not apparent to the naked eye and are formed from sweat from the sebaceous glands, or from water, salt, amino acids, and oils in sweat. The prints must be developed before they can be seen and photographed, and they can be made visible by dusting, fuming, or chemical reagents.
The materials used for dusting are black dusting powder, adhesive clear 3/4 inch white tape, a dusting brush, magnifying glass, clean glass to place the print on, and soap to wash your hands with afterward. Superglue fuming can be more useful in certain cases than dusting. This is because dusting can actually damage the prints, and some investigators may want to keep the original print there for longer. This allows you to make multiple lifts off the same print. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to lift land prints. So first you want to make sure the glass or whatever surface is clean, otherwise it won't work. You won't be able to see the minutiae of the fingerprint. And so to get you want to get oils on your skin so it's more visible on the glass. So you want to run your finger along the side of your nose or the back of your neck, or maybe behind your ear, because these are the most oily parts. And you can just place it right here, anywhere. And you want to take the dusting brush and you want to kind of sweep over the areas, rotate over the places that you went, and should become visible. Okay, so right here we have a print on here, so you want to take about a 3-inch piece of tape my lovely assistant Jay has provided me with, and you just want to place it on. You want to place it on, you want to apply pressure, try to get the air bubbles out, like that, right there. And you want to rip one side to the other side slowly but surely, and boom. Look at that. You got yourself a land print right there.
Nice.
Looks good. You want to try to see the minutiae and the details, and you want to try to make sure it's clear. And you always want to put on a white piece of paper so the black stands out. Yeah. There you go.
In order to roll fingerprints, you'll need an ink pad, a magnifying glass to help identify which type of fingerprint it is, and a 10-card fingerprint sheet. Also, if not all fingerprints were collected at the crime scene and they only got maybe 1 or 2, all 10 of these fingerprints on the fingerprint sheet could help identify the person.
Hey guys, so I'm just going to be demonstrating proper procedure for rolling a suspect's print. So this would happen when there's a crime and they've gathered suspects and they need to roll their prints. So first you're going to need an ink pad, and you just take your finger and you have to go left to right, and you have to make sure you get everything from the tip of the finger to the knuckle line. So and then you want to do the same thing. You want to go left to right on the sheet. Oops. Yeah. So you just want to make sure you can see the print clearly. There's not too much black smudging all over, and you want to be able to see the ridges and the deltas and things like that. Yeah.
So the loop fingerprint is the most common type of fingerprint, and there are 3 types. So the ulnar is slanted to the left, and the radial loop is slanted towards the right. And then there's a double loop, which is literally like 2 loops and 1 fingerprint. This is the central loop whorl. It looks like a loop, but you can tell that it's a whorl because of the circle inside the entire fingerprint. This is an accidental whorl. Kind of just looks all over the place, except you can see a mini circle inside of the entire thing. And then this is the double loop whorl. So the whorl is the least common type of fingerprint, and there's 4 types, this being the plain whorl, which is literally just circles around circles. This is the central loop whorl, whereas the outside looks like a loop, but there is a circle inside, which is how you tell the difference between them. There are 2 types of arches, this being the tented arch, which you can think of it as being like a really high mountain. And then there's a plain arch, which you can think of it as being a hill.
A fingerprint minutia are the individual characteristics and tiny detail of a fingerprint. A few different types of minutia are the ending ridge, the short ridge, the dot, the bridge, the hook, or what's called the spur, and a double fork or a double bifurcation. This is an example of a ridge ending which looks like a line ending another line. Here's an example of a dot which just looks like a point in the middle of 2 lines. This is an example of a bridge which looks like a line connecting 2 other lines. This is an example of a hook, which is a line that diverges from another line. This is an example of a short ridge, which is just a line between 2 other lines but smaller. This is an example of a double bifurcation, which just resembles 2 hooks.
While the minutia represents individual evidence, the fingerprint type represents class evidence. For example, these 3 prints share the same fingerprint type, but they are not the same fingerprint when you look at the individual characteristics, such as the minutia.
There are 3 types of patterns for fingerprints, which are visible, latent, and impressed prints. Visible prints are left in a medium and often visible to the naked eye. An example would be blood. Latent prints are not visible to the naked eye. An example would be sweat. Impressed prints can have small indentations left on its surfaces and are very visible to the naked eye. An example would be a footprint in dirt. In this example, we have someone who's about to commit a very, very, very serious crime. Once we apprehend the criminal, legal action will take place. The courts vary from state to state as to how many ridge characteristics must match in order for it to be a positive ID. However, a single rolled fingerprint may have up to 100 identification points that can be used for identification purposes. The 2 prints must have the same general pattern for positive identification to be given. We collected a Latin print from a mirror. As you can see, there are some consistencies within the Latin print from the mirror and the rolled print from our suspect. As you can see, both A's line up and show a dot. B also shows a bifurcation, C shows an I, D shows a bridge, and E shows an ending ridge. There are 2 techniques used to identify prints: the minutia-based technique and the correlation-based technique. The minutia-based technique maps minutia points based on their relative placement on the finger. On the other hand, the correlation-based technique requires precise location of a registration point and are affected by the image translations and rotations.
Fingerprint evidence is considered extremely reliable in the courts due to the simple fact that there are no 2 people with the same type of fingerprints. Think of your fingerprints as being a unique map with certain patterns and regions that no one else has. The minutia varies from state to state.